NBC4 You.
The NBC4 News at 6 with Colleen Williams and Michael Brownlee.
Summer is my favorite time of year. As the days grow long and the temperatures rise, thank you. It's a perfect opportunity to refresh your home with pieces from Living Spaces. Summer decor adds new energy to any setting. It's easy to incorporate seasonal style in the living room with fun pillows and special touches. Then you can end your day in a breezy retreat. Now you have everything you need for the perfect summer. Summer is here at Living Spaces. All right, cut.
Breaking news now at 7 a.m. on Today in LA Weekend. Protests turned violent with tear gas, rubber bullets, and flares. Last night's clash capping off another day of tension over federal immigration action. We're live with the latest as tensions continue to rise. And the National Guard now in downtown LA after being deployed by the president. Why the U.S. Attorney also agrees this was the right move, despite what state leaders are saying.
This is Today in LA at 7 with breaking news.
And good morning, I'm Michelle Vias. We begin with that breaking news on the ongoing pushback over ICE raids happening around the LA area overnight. We learned that the National Guard arrived in downtown LA ahead of another reported planned protest. This is new video of their arrival this morning right behind me. It follows President Trump's announcement last night to deploy 2,000 Guard members to the city. It is something both Governor Gavin Newsom and LA Mayor Karen Bass say is unnecessary. Here's what we know so far. The LA County Sheriff's Department tells NBC News one person has been arrested and several others were detained following protests yesterday. U.S. Attorney Bill Asaley announced on X that more than a dozen people were arrested for allegedly impeding federal agents. This morning, it's still not clear what charges they could face. Crowds quieted down overnight, but earlier in the day, federal officials clashed with several protesters at several locations as unrest ensued. NBC4's Annette Arriola live in our newsroom to break down what else is happening right now. Annette, good morning.
Michelle, good morning to you. A very busy 24 hours. Demonstrators erupted across L.A., tensions reaching a boiling point, and now National Guard members are here in Southern California. And President Donald Trump has said that Marines could also be called in. This is the new video coming in from overnight showing the California National Guard arriving to the detention center in downtown L.A. The Trump administration saying the deployment is in response to the protests that began Friday night over immigration enforcement operations that have resulted in clashes between demonstrators and law enforcement. Now, this video here from News Chopper 4 is as it flew over the federal building last night on Alameda, and you can see there dozens of agents coming out of the building to disperse crowds in downtown. At one point, they fired pepper balls and flash grenades to push back protesters. Now, the LAPD declared an unlawful assembly and moved the demonstrators off the streets. Our McCullough Medina was on scene last night speaking with those demonstrators.
Are you concerned at all about what's happening here, how they're responding to you guys?
I'm concerned because honestly, like, we're peacefully purchasing, you know? We're not throwing anything. We're not causing any damage, anything. I mean, there is graffiti, right? But at the end of the day, the damage was more cost to us than we cost to them.
And our McCullough Medina was also caught in the middle of the melee. You hear there the flashbangs going off. He was standing very close to the news van, and then you see him being pushed out as the chaos unfolds. Now, Governor Newsom has also issued a statement saying that the federal government's decision to take over the California National Guard is, quote, purposefully inflammatory and will only escalate tensions. Michelle, we'll send it back to you.
And canisters of tear gas were thrown into the crowds in Paramount yesterday as deputies and federal agents in riot gear stood across the street. From a Home Depot there, the sheriff's department declared it an unlawful assembly and asked the crowds to disperse peacefully. Deputies say at one point the crowd grew to about 350 to 400 people and turned violent. Protesters were heard shouting at agents and throwing fireworks at law enforcement. NBC4 spoke to people in Paramount about what they witnessed.
It's anger that we have, fear, a mix of emotions, heartbreaking. You know, no one is expecting to go to work and not come home. People are here for a better living. And if people are not seeing a problem with this, then they need to wake up because that's a big issue.
The FBI also shared this video online in an attempt to track down the person throwing rocks at cars in the city. President Trump deployed the National Guard in attempts to keep the peace, as you just heard. This is a move that the U.S. Attorney for the Central District of California says is necessary. He spoke with NBC4's Conan Nolan. Homeland Security says ICE has arrested 2,000.
United States Attorney Bill O'Saley says there was no immigration raid at the Home Depot yesterday in Paramount, but rather immigration agents were staging at a nearby federal building.
So it was just a staging area for our federal agents, but they were spotted and word got out, and these agitators who are organizing this resistance effort started mobilizing people to that location, and it turned into an ugly scene pretty quickly.
O'Saley says that ugly situation did not stop them from issuing their pre-planned deportation orders. The rock throwing at their staging area did injure several ICE officers.
One officer broke a wrist. Some other officers suffered injuries from rocks and cement block pieces that were thrown at them. We had one individual throwing Molotov cocktails. He's been arrested now.
President Donald Trump last night was attending a UFC fight in New Jersey. Prior to that, he authorized the mobilization of 2,000 National Guard troops to assist federal DHS and ICE agents, an action criticized by Governor Gavin Newsom, who posted that the move was inflammatory, that he is in close communication with law enforcement, and that there is currently no unmet need, adding, "This is the wrong mission and will erode public trust." O'Saley welcomes the deployment.
You have thousands of people forming and gathering in crowds, rioting, attacking our agents, throwing rocks, throwing eggs, throwing Molotov cocktails. They overwhelmed the local authorities. They overwhelmed us yesterday. And so the National Guard is being deployed, and they're going to help keep the peace.
O'Saley says the weekend actions are nothing new. Search warrants Friday for employers in the Fashion District and targeted arrests for those facing court-ordered deportation on Saturday. What is new is the response.
We're seeing a very sophisticated level of organization by union groups and other groups to mobilize people to violently resist our efforts to enforce immigration law. That's not going to stand.
The U.S. Attorney says immigration warrants will continue to be served. Conan Nolan, NBC4 News.
And Homeland Security says ICE has arrested 2,000 people a day across the U.S. They say they are arresting violent criminals, but NBC News data shows that that has not always been the case. To give you an idea of the scope of the situation, we have some immigration numbers to share for context. So there are about 11 million undocumented immigrants here in the U.S., but that number could be higher after a record number of illegal crossings during the Biden administration. Of those undocumented, 2.6 million live here in California, followed by Texas with 2 million, Florida with 590,000, and New York with 410,000. And take a look at this. According